Commander Lyra Voxel stood at the helm of the ISS Stargazer, her eyes fixed on the pulsating anomaly that had appeared near Jupiter's orbit. The massive disc-shaped object defied all known laws of physics, rotating in perfect synchronization with an otherworldly beat that reverberated through space. "What in the name of Einstein's mustache is that thing?" exclaimed Dr. Zephyr Quark, the ship's chief scientist, his fingers flying over holographic displays as he tried to make sense of the readings. Lyra's cybernetic eye whirred, zooming in on the object. "Whatever it is, it's heading straight for Earth. And fast." The crew of the Stargazer watched in awe as the disk accelerated, leaving a trail of shimmering, multicolored particles in its wake. Within minutes, it had cleared the asteroid belt and was rapidly approaching Mars. Back on Earth, in the underground command center of the Global Defense Initiative, General Axel Novastorm slammed his fist on the conference table. "I want every satellite, every telescope, and every pair of damn binoculars pointed at that thing. Now!" Screens lit up around the room as data poured in from observatories and space stations across the globe. The disk had slowed its approach, now hovering just beyond the moon's orbit. Its surface rippled like liquid mercury, reflecting distorted images of stars and planets. Suddenly, a booming voice echoed through every communication device on the planet, causing speakers to crackle and eardrums to vibrate uncomfortably. "People of Earth, we are the rhythmoids of Beatopia. Your planet's gravity has disrupted our galactic dance party cruise ship's trajectory." General Novastorm's jaw dropped. "Did they just say, dance party cruise ship?" The voice continued. "We demand you vacate this solar system immediately or face total annihilation by the power of our sick beats and killer moves." Panic chatter erupted in the command center. Axel raised his hand, silencing the room. "Give me the president. Now!" In the Oval Office, President Orion Stardust, a former DJ turned politician, listened intently to the alien transmission. Her fingers unconsciously tapped out a rhythm on her desk as she absorbed the implications of the threat. "Madam President," General Novastorm's voice crackled through the secure line. "What are your orders?" Orion leaned back in her chair, a mischievous glint in her eye. "General, give me every dancer, every musician, every performer we've got. It's time to show these rhythmoids what Earthlings are made of." "Mom!" Axel's confusion was palpable even through the audio link. "You heard me, General. If they want a dance party, we'll give them a dance party they'll never forget." As word spread of the alien ultimatum, an unexpected calm settled over the planet. In every city, town, and village, people began to move. Not in panic, not in fear, but in rhythm. Streets became impromptu dance floors. Parks transformed into open-air discos, and even the stodgiest of government buildings pulsed with improvised beats. Lyra Voxel and her crew aboard the ISS Stargazer received new orders to make first contact with the rhythmoids. As they approached the massive alien vessel, Lyra couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Attention, rhythmoid vessel," she broadcast, her voice steady despite the absurdity of the situation. "This is Commander Lyra Voxel of Earth. We accept your challenge." There was a moment of silence that seemed to stretch into eternity. Then, with a flash of light that momentarily blinded the Stargazer's sensors, a figure materialized on their bridge. Standing before them was a being that defied description. Its body seemed to be made of pure energy, constantly shifting and pulsating in time with an unheard beat. Where a face should have been, there was a swirling vortex of colors. "I am DJ Nova Flare, ambassador of the RHYTHMOIDS," the being announced, its voice causing the very air to vibrate. "You accept our challenge, tiny Earthlings? Prepare to be amazed, dazzled, and ultimately defeated by our superior rhythmic abilities." Lyra stood her ground, meeting the swirling vortex with a steely gaze. "We'll see about that. Earth has a few moves of its own." As DJ Nova Flare's laughter echoed through the ship, Lyra couldn't help but wonder, had they just committed the entire planet to the most ridiculous dance-off in the history of the universe? Little did she know, This was only the beginning of a cosmic competition that would shake the very foundations of reality itself. As news of the impending dance-off spread across the globe, humanity's reaction was far from what anyone expected. Instead of panic, there was a surge of excitement. In New York City's Times Square, a massive screen flickered to life, displaying President Orion Stardust's face. Her expression was serious, but there was an unmistakable twinkle in her eye. "My fellow Earthlings," she began, her voice echoing through streets worldwide. "We face a threat unlike any in our history. The Rhythmoids have challenged us not to war, but to dance. And I say, let's show them what we've got." Cheers erupted from crowds gathered in city centers across the planet. In Rio de Janeiro, samba schools took to the streets. In Mumbai, Bollywood choreographers began organizing flash mobs. Even in the usually stoic corridors of the Kremlin, officials were caught tapping their feet to an impromptu balalaika performance. Meanwhile, in a secret facility deep beneath the Mojave Desert, Operation Boogie Wonderland was in full swing. General Axel Novastorm stood before a group of Earth's most elite dancers. "Ladies and gentlemen," he addressed the eclectic group, "you represent the pinnacle of human rhythmic achievement. B-boys, ballerinas, tap dancers, and whatever the hell it is you do." He gestured towards a person in the back who seemed to be made entirely of neon and glitter. "Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and let's face it, the fate of our planet depends on it, so you'd better accept it, is to form Earth's ultimate dance squad." A hand shot up. It belonged to Ziggy the Earthquake Thompson, a breakdancing legend known for moves that literally registered on seismographs. "Yo, General," Ziggy called out, "how exactly are we supposed to compete with aliens who can travel through space? Their tech must be off the charts." The general's face split into a grin that could only be described as diabolical. "I'm glad you asked, son. Dr. Funkenstein, if you would." From the shadows emerged a figure in a lab coat that seemed to change colors with every movement. Dr. Melody Funkenstein Wu, Earth's leading expert in sonic manipulation and rhythm technology, stepped forward. "Behold," she exclaimed, pressing a button on her wristwatch. The floor opened up, revealing a platform holding what looked like ordinary dance shoes. "These," Dr. Funkenstein continued, her voice filled with pride, "are the Groove Amplifiers 3000. They harness the kinetic energy of your moves, converting it into pure rhythmic power. The more you dance, the stronger they become." The dancers exchanged looks of awe and excitement. This was going to be more than just a dance-off. It was going to be a spectacle. As Earth prepared its defenses, Commander Lyra Voxel found herself in an unprecedented diplomatic situation aboard the ISS Stargazer. DJ Nova Flare, the Rhythmoid ambassador, was critiquing their ship's sound system. This pitiful arrangement of speakers wouldn't even wake a sleeping Grobnak, the alien exclaimed, its body pulsating with indignation. Lyra pinched the bridge of her nose, feeling a headache coming on. "With all due respect, Ambassador, our ship wasn't designed for intergalactic dance parties." Clearly, DJ Nova Flare's voice boomed, causing several control panels to spark. "How do you expect to compete if you can't even feel the beat in your subatomic particles?" Before Lyra could respond, a transmission came through from Earth. It was President Stardust herself. "Commander Voxel, I hope I'm not interrupting anything groovy." The president's tone was light, but her eyes were serious. "We need you to negotiate the terms of this dance-off. The fate of our world depends on it." Lyra nodded, straightening her uniform. She turned to the Rhythmoid ambassador, whose swirling vortex face seemed to be waiting expectantly. "All right, DJ Nova Flare," Lyra said, her voice firm. "Let's talk terms. Where's this dance-off going to happen? What are the rules? And most importantly, who's judging?" The alien's body pulsed with what could only be described as glee. Now we're talking. The stage shall be your moon. Neutral ground, yes? As for judges," the being paused dramatically, "the cosmic rhythm itself shall decide the victor." Lyra blinked. "The cosmic rhythm?" "Yes. The very beat that keeps your puny galaxies spinning. It knows all, feels all, and its judgment is final." As Lyra relayed this information back to Earth, she couldn't help but wonder, How on Earth, or off it in this case, were they going to pull this off? Back on the blue planet, preparation reached a fever pitch. Streets became training grounds, parks transformed into choreography camps, and even the International Space Station began practicing zero-gravity dance moves. In Antarctica, a team of climate scientists found themselves teaching penguins to moonwalk. It's for science, they insisted to their bewildered colleagues via satellite link. As the day of the great dance-off approached, a palpable energy swept across the globe. Humanity had faced many challenges throughout its history, but none quite like this. They weren't just fighting for survival now. They were fighting for the right to boogie. In her office, President Orion Stardust looked out at the Washington Monument, which had been temporarily converted into a giant glow stick. She smiled to herself, remembering the words of a wise DJ she once knew. When the world gets crazy, you don't stop the party. You turn it up, and turn it up they would. The stage was set, the dancers were ready, and Earth was about to show the universe that when it comes to getting down, humanity was second to none. Little did they know, the rhythmoids had a few surprises of their own up their shimmering, otherworldly sleeves. The day had finally arrived. Earth's moon, once a silent, stoic sentinel, now pulsed with an energy never before seen in the solar system. The rhythmoids had transformed its surface into the most spectacular dance floor the universe had ever witnessed. Massive speakers, each the size of Mount Everest, stood at cardinal points, ready to blast beats across the cosmos. The lunar dust had been converted into a shimmering, responsive surface that rippled and changed colors with each step. And at the center of it all, a colossal disco ball hung, suspended in the moon's low gravity, refracting light from the sun in dazzling patterns across the starry expanse. Commander Lyra Voxel stood at the helm of humanity's flagship, the newly christened USS Groovemaster. Behind her, Earth's elite dance squad fidgeted nervously, adjusting their groove amplifiers 3000. "All right, team," Lyra addressed them, her cybernetic eye whirring as it scanned the lunar surface. "This is it, everything we've trained for. Remember, it's not just about the moves, it's about the spirit. Show them what it means to be human." Ziggy the Earthquake Thompson cracked his knuckles. "We got this, Commander. Those alien disco freaks won't know what hit him." As the USS Groovemaster descended towards the lunar surface, a fleet of rhythmoid ships appeared, their hulls gleaming like the scales of cosmic fish. They moved in perfect synchronization, performing an aerial ballet that left even the most hardened of Earth's pilots in awe. The ships landed, and from them emerged the rhythmoid dance team. Each alien was a unique spectacle. One seemed to be made entirely of pulsating light, another looked like a living constellation, and yet another appeared to be a sentient aurora borealis. DJ Nova Flare floated to the center of the dance floor, its vortex face swirling with anticipation. "Earthlings, are you ready to witness the power of truly transcendent rhythm?" Lyra stepped forward, her stance defiant. "We're ready, but the question is, are you ready for what we've got?" Suddenly, the moon trembled. A deep, resonant tone began to build, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The cosmic rhythm, the beat of the universe itself, was beginning to manifest. "Let the intergalactic dance OFF begin." DJ Nova Flare's voice boomed across the lunar landscape. The rhythmoids moved first, their bodies undulating in impossible ways. They didn't just dance to the music, they became the music. Light, sound, and motion blurred into one as they performed feats that defied the laws of physics. One rhythmoid spun so fast it created a miniature galaxy around itself. Another moonwalked across the lunar sky, leaving a trail of stardust in its wake. A third split into multiple copies of itself, each one performing a different dance style from across the cosmos. The human audience watching from Earth collectively held its breath. How could anyone compete with that? But Earth's dance squad didn't falter. As their groove amplifiers 3000 hummed to life, they stepped onto the dance floor with a swagger that said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." Ziggy led the charge, his body becoming a blur of motion. His signature move, the tectonic shake, literally caused the moon's surface to ripple. The rhythmoids watched in shock as lunar dust formed into waves, cresting and breaking like a glittering ocean. Arya Swan Lake Volkov, prima ballerina of the Bolshoi, leapt into action next. Her pirouettes were so perfect, so precise, that they created vortexes in the moon's thin atmosphere. She danced with such grace that even the stars seemed to lean in for a better view. But it was Kazi Thunderfoot Okonkwo who truly turned the tide. His combination of traditional African dance and futuristic cybernetic enhancements created a rhythm so profound, so deep, that it resonated with the very core of the moon. As he stomped and twirled, lunar quakes rippled outwards, causing the entire satellite to vibrate in harmony with his movements. The rhythmoids, for the first time in their existence, looked uncertain. DJ Nova Flare's swirling face vortex seemed to pulse with a mix of surprise and grudging respect. Impressive, Earthlings. But the battle is far from over. As the dance-off intensified, something unexpected began to happen. The cosmic rhythm, that fundamental beat of the universe, started to change. It was as if the combined power of rhythmoid and human dancing was altering the very fabric of reality. Constellations began to move in time with the music. Distant nebulae pulsed like cosmic strobe lights. Even the rings of Saturn seemed to undulate in rhythm. On Earth, people watched in awe as the night sky came alive with celestial choreography. Scientists scrambled to explain the phenomenon, while philosophers debated its meaning. But for most of humanity, only one thing mattered: the groove. Back on the moon, both teams danced with increasing fervor, each trying to outdo the other. Sweat glistened on human skin, while rhythmoids glowed brighter with each move. The dance floor beneath them started to crack under the sheer power of their performance. As the cosmic rhythm reached a crescendo, Lyra realized something profound. This wasn't just a competition anymore. It was becoming something more, a fusion of alien and human artistic expression that transcended mere movement. It was communication, celebration, a sharing of the joy of existence itself. But even as this realization dawned, a new sound cut through the music, alarms blaring from both human and rhythmoid ships. Something was wrong, very wrong. The cosmic rhythm, amplified by their combined dancing power, had grown too strong. It was causing distortions in space-time itself. If they didn't stop soon, they risked tearing a hole in the very fabric of the universe. Lyra locked eyes, or what passed for eyes, with DJ Nova Flare. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. The dance-off had to end, not in victory or defeat, but in collaboration. But how could they possibly stop this cosmic cadence they'd set in motion? The fate of reality itself hung in the balance, swaying to a beat that threatened to shake it apart. As the cosmic rhythm threatened to tear reality apart, Lyra Voxel and DJ Nova Flare faced a crisis that transcended their competition. The dance floor, once a battlefield of beats, now became ground zero for a potential universal catastrophe. We must stabilize the rhythm. DJ Nova Flare's voice boomed, its usual bravado replaced by genuine concern. But our species alone lacked the power. Lyra's cybernetic eye whirred frantically, analyzing the situation. Then we work together, she shouted over the deafening cosmic beat. Humans and rhythmoids in sync. As if on cue, a new voice cut through the chaos. Did someone call for a sick beat intervention? All eyes turned to see a massive, crystalline ship descending from the stars. Its surface shimmered with ever-changing fractals, and it pulsed with a bass so deep it made black holes seem shallow. From the ship emerged a being that defied description. It looked like a cross between a DJ booth, a supernova, and a Zen master. "I am Master Mix, last of the harmonics," the being announced, its voice somehow both a whisper and a thunderclap. "I sense the disturbance in the cosmic groove from across the galaxy. You've stirred up something dangerous, younglings." Lyra and DJ Nova Flare exchanged glances. "Can you help us?" Lyra asked, hope creeping into her voice. Master Mix's form rippled with what might have been a chuckle. "Help? Child, I'm here to teach." The true power of rhythm isn't in competition, but in collaboration. Now, let's drop a beat that'll save reality. With a wave of its appendages, turntables, arms, energy fields, Master Mix began to weave a new rhythm. It was unlike anything either humans or rhythmoids had ever heard, a perfect fusion of organic and synthetic, of cosmic and quantum. Now, Master Mix commanded, "Dance as one." Hesitantly at first, then with growing confidence, humans and rhythmoids began to move together. Ziggy found himself in a dance-off-turn-dance with against a rhythmoid made of pulsing starlight. Arya pirouette in perfect sync with a being of living aurora. Kazi's thunderous stomps were amplified by a rhythmoid that seemed to be a sentient bass drop. As they danced, the erratic cosmic rhythm began to stabilize. The cracks in reality started to mend, sealing themselves with streams of multicolored energy. But just as victory seemed within grasp, a new threat emerged. From the dark side of the moon, a fleet of ships appeared. They were angular, cold, and emitted no light or sound. At their center was a vessel that seemed to absorb all joy and rhythm around it. "Apa," DJ Nova Fled exclaimed. "The Monotonids! We thought they were extinct." Master Mix's form darkened. The ancient enemies of rhythm and harmony. They seek to impose their will of singular, joyless order upon the universe. From the central monotonoid ship, a transmission crackled across all frequencies. The voice that spoke was flat, devoid of any inflection or emotion. "Cease your chaotic movements immediately. Your disharmony disturbs the perfect silence of space. Surrender now and embrace the peace of absolute stillness." Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. A universe without music, without dance, without the joy of movement? It was unthinkable. She turned to her unlikely allies, the rhythmoids, Master Mix, and her fellow humans. "We can't let them win. If we thought our dance-off was high stakes before, now we're dancing for the soul of the universe itself." DJ Nova Flare's vortex face swirled with determination. "For once, Earthling, we are in complete agreement. Let us show these joyless entities the power of getting down." Master Mix's form expanded, enveloping them all in a protective bubble of pure rhythm. The final battle approaches, young ones. Remember, in the face of those who would silence all music, every movement is an act of rebellion. Every beat, a declaration of freedom. As the Monotonoid fleet descended upon the moon, weapons of anti-rhythm at the ready, our unlikely alliance prepared for the performance of their lives. Humans, rhythmoids, and the last harmonic united against a force that threatened not just their planets or species, but the very concept of joy itself. The dance floor, so recently a site of competition, now became the last bastion of rhythm in the face of cosmic silence. Lyra looked around at her companions, Ziggy cracking his knuckles, Arya in point, Kazi's feet already beginning to move. The rhythmoids pulsed with anticipation, their bodies becoming living instruments. And as the Monotonoids fired their first salvo of anti-rhythm rays, Master Mix raised its appendages high. Let the ultimate dance battle begin. With a drop that shook the very foundations of the moon, humans and aliens alike began to move as one. Their every step, spin, and slide a defiant shout against the encroaching silence. The fate of universal harmony hung in the balance, and the only way to save it was to dance like they'd never danced before. As waves of null sound washed over them, threatening to steal the rhythm from their very souls, Lyra realized that this was more than a battle. It was a testament to everything that made life worth living: joy, expression, connection, and the simple, profound pleasure of moving to a beat. And so they danced, for all of creation, against the void that sought to still them forever. The moon's surface pulsated with energy as humans, rhythmoids, and Master Mix faced off against the advancing Monotonoid fleet. Waves of null sound crashed against Master Mix's protective bubble of pure rhythm, each impact threatening to shatter their last defense. "We need more power," Lyra shouted over the cosmic cacophony. Her groove amplifiers 3,000 were buzzing, pushed to their limits. DJ Nova Flare's swirling form flickered erratically. Our energy reserves are depleting. We cannot maintain this rhythm indefinitely. Master Mix's voice cut through the chaos, somehow both serene and urgent. The key lies not in power, young ones, but in harmony. True rhythm comes from the heart, the soul, the very essence of being. You must find the beat that unites all. Ziggy mid-backflip called out, but how? We're already giving it everything we've got. As if in answer, a transmission crackled through their communication systems. It was President Orion Stardust, her voice filled with determination. Commander Voxel, we're picking up your situation down here. All of Earth is watching, and we refuse to let you face this alone. Get ready for a planet-sized backup dancer. Suddenly, the blue marble of Earth in the sky began to pulse with light. Every city, every town, every village was moving in sync. Billions of humans, dancing as one, sent waves of rhythmic energy hurtling through space. The monotonoids faltered, their formations breaking as the surge of pure, joyous rhythm washed over them. Lyra's eyes widened with realization. That's IT. It's not about us versus them. It's about all of us, together. She turned to DJ Nova Flare. Can your people do the same? Call on every rhythmoid across the galaxy. The alien DJ's vortex face spun with excitement. Affirmative, human. Prepare for a galactic groove. As Earth continued its planet-wide dance party, pinpricks of light began to appear across the starry expanse. Distant rhythmoid worlds joining the cosmic chorus. The combined rhythm grew stronger, more complex, a tapestry of beats and movements that spoke of unity and diversity. Master Mix's form expanded, channeling the incoming energy. Now, young ones, show the universe the true meaning of dance. With a shared look of determination, humans and rhythmoids alike launched into the most spectacular performance in cosmic history. Ziggy's earthquake shuffle synchronized perfectly with a rhythmoid supernova spin. The moon's surface rippled beneath them, sending shockwaves of groove across its cratered face. Aria leapt impossibly high in the low gravity, her graceful arcs leaving trails of stardust. A rhythmoid made of living constellations wove around her, their combined movements painting new patterns in the sky. Kazi's thunderous footwork merged with the pulsing bass of a rhythmoid DJ, creating a beat so profound it caused the very atoms around them to dance. And at the center of it all, Lyra and DJ Nova Flare moved as one, human and alien in perfect sync. Their dance was a conversation, a celebration, a declaration that in rhythm, all barriers fall away. The monotonoid fleet, faced with this onslaught of pure, unadulterated groove, began to falter. Their weapons of anti-rhythm sputtered and died, overwhelmed by the sheer joy emanating from the lunar dance floor. The lead monotonoid ship shuddered, then began to transform. Its cold, angular surface softened, taking on an organic, flowing shape. A voice, no longer flat but filled with wonder, broadcasted across all frequencies. We remember. The rhythm. The beat. How could we have forgotten? As the former monotonoids joined the dance, their ships morphing into fantastic, musical instruments, Master Mix's voice rang out. This is the true power of rhythm. Not to defeat, but to unite. To remind all beings of the fundamental joy of existence. The cosmic beat, once a threat to reality itself, now stabilized into a harmonious pulse that resonated through the very fabric of space-time. Galaxies swayed, nebulae pulsed with new colors, and distant stars twinkled in time with the ultimate universal rhythm. As the dance reached its crescendo, Lyra found herself face to vortex with DJ Nova Flare. The rhythmoid's swirling visage seemed to express a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. Well danced, human, it said, its booming voice softened with newfound respect. Perhaps your species has some moves after all. Lyra grinned, sweat glistening on her brow. Right back at you, DJ. So, same time next cosmic crisis? As laughter, human, rhythmoid, and everything in between, echoed across the lunar surface. Master Mix's form began to fade. "My work here is done," the ancient being said. "Remember this day, young ones, in the grand dance of the cosmos. Every being has a part to play. Keep the rhythm alive in your hearts, and the universe will always be in harmony." With a final, reality-bending scratch of its cosmic turntables, Master Mix vanished in a shower of musical notes. As the impromptu interspecies dance party continued on the moon's surface, Lyra looked out at the starry expanse, forever changed by the day's events. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge not through war or technology, but through the universal language of dance. She couldn't help but smile. The universe was vast and full of wonders, but as long as there was a beat to move to, they would never truly be alone. And so, as Earth and its new alien allies boogied under the light of a billion swaying stars, a new era of cosmic harmony began. All because humanity had the audacity, the rhythm, and the unshakable groove to dance its way out of annihilation. In the endless disco of space, the party was just getting started. And this time, everyone was invited.